Hey, you guys look the same as you did in the last video.
Yeah, we should probably let's change the angle, but yeah, more above our heads and less of my foot twitching, but whatever.
Yeah, Greg's anxious foot.
I'm not anxious, I'm just, whatever.
He's anxious. All right, welcome back to Fabricating Realities on, I guess this would actually be legit the first episode. The last one was just kind of an intro. So we'll call this episode 1. We need to get better at talking points. We just kind of sprung this on us last minute, what we were going to talk about, and we still don't 100% know.
Well, I think part of it is we have to build the foundation because we can talk about a lot of stuff, but we don't necessarily know what y'all want to hear. I would like to interview some tradesmen, kind of get some ideas from their end to help consumers that might need different repairs, because we know a few different trades and we can kind of give some insider knowledge and that stuff. I think Richard was wanting to talk about kind of global events and sharing some of our ideas on that. But really, I think in the beginning we just have to start out maybe expressing ourselves and finding our group of people, because I don't think we're everyone's cup of tea.
That's for sure. And another thing I wanted to really capture starting this podcast was we have a lot of badass local heroes, if you will. Like our powder coat guy, he's got a really cool story, and some of our steel supplier people that we communicate with, on and off. One of the guys at one of the steel suppliers, he was kind of a laborer or a grunt, if you will. To start out, I guess as we all are at one point in life, but now he's running a pretty big company here in Rogers, and there's a lot of really cool stories out there, and not that it makes a big difference to anybody, and nobody's going to get rich and famous because of being on Fabricating Realities, but to get those stories out there is just pretty cool. And actually, I guess to start this one off, so we started this about a week ago, and I guess that kind of really drives the point home of capturing the stories and their side of the story, the reality of it. We sat down about a week ago to record this, and literally no more than we pressed record, I got a phone call that we had a family emergency and ended up losing my father-in-law. Had a double heart attack, I guess, if you will, and so it really drives the point home. Luckily, we had a bunch of pictures of him and videos, and all of us kids and the son-in-laws and the daughters. We all knew his story pretty well, and but there's a lot of people out there that never get the chance to really tell their stories, I guess. And not saying that this is where this is going to go. There'll probably be a lot of current events talks, the politics. What's screwing us right now, what's actually doing good right now. But anyway, it's going to be all over the board.
We'll probably have a few different varieties of episodes. We'll see where this goes. Join us on the exploration of what happens with two rednecks and a camera.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like I said, I think our story is pretty cool. And hell, I guess might as well just get into our story, huh?
I mean, it's a place to start, yeah.
Yeah, so we, PAL Fabrication is kind of... I guess it got legit, if you will, in 2020, October of 2020. Before that, I was on the road welding. I chased ethanol plants and pipeline for a little while. Decided to come home, was done welding, didn't want any more to do with it. I liked the fabricating side at home, on hot rods or race cars and things of that nature. I just couldn't stand the road life anymore, and of course being off of it now for 5 or 6 years, I kind of itch for it every once in a while, but with the family and everything else, it's kind of hard to do that. But anyway, came home and had a buddy of mine that had a remodel company, and he needed some help, and I thought, well, heck, I'll go learn how to lay some tile and paint some walls and do that kind of stuff. I knew the basics of home building, but I wasn't an expert at it by any means, still not. But I can do a little bit, and I'm dangerous in that world anyways. So anyway, guy showed up at the shop one day, and he needed some welding work done. And I was like, nah, man, I'm good. I don't really care to chase it anymore. And anyway, I've told the story a dozen times, so it seems like I'm just on repeat. But I pushed him off, and then he came back. Pushed him off, came back, and here we are today. So he kind of got this idea kick-started again, and thought, well, might as well make an LLC out of it, because every person needs a good tax write-off, and a welding company is dang sure one of those good write-offs. But anyhow, we've been up and down, and started with just a welder and a job box, and I bought a Lincoln. It's a 260.
Yeah, 260, 280, something like that.
Yeah, 260 or 280 MIG welder, and then I bought a little Grizzly Geo 561 or something like that.
Yeah.
Bandsaw, just a 12-inch bandsaw. Nothing to write home about, but that's what got us started. And then a couple years down the road, we got introduced to Shop Saver, and the Tay Whiteside actually is another YouTuber, if you will. He had a lot of good videos out there on the plasma and getting it started, and you know, the ins, the outs, the costs, things to look out for. So we took the jump in 21. I think it was 21, maybe it was 22. No, it would have been 22, because we moved in the house the end of 21. But we took the jump, got the plasma cutter, and that kind of put us on the roadmap. You know, we were just a little speed bump in the roadmap, but nevertheless, we were at least starting and starting to get more jobs. And then we started chasing the handrail stuff pretty hot and heavy. Got pretty decent with it. Done some pretty nice jobs, some pretty big jobs, and then we had the opportunity last year to buy the laser, and we hope, you know, it's still a big learning curve. We got it in October of 2025. Actually, probably got it set up and going in November-ish. You know, really good, comfortably.
Yeah. I mean, we made our first cut 4 hours after it showed up, but
yeah,
I think by the start of November, we were really rolling in it.
Yeah, so we kind of restructured the company here a little bit, trying to get more laser work where I can be at the shop, or where we can be at the shop full time. Don't have to go out and chase the stuff on job sites, and there's good money in all of that. It didn't really fit where we wanted to go. So we're kind of in the rebranding, restructuring phase, if you will, right now of PAL Fabrication. But bringing you guys along with us the whole journey. It's been, the last few months have been a hell of a few months. So
yeah, a lot of excitement, a lot of anxiety, a lot of back and forth on how things are going to go. But it's all kind of more or less worked itself out in the end.
Yeah.
Maybe not the way we planned, but
yeah. Yeah, that's one of our topics yesterday was on that exact thing there. So we don't know where all this is going to go, business-wise, podcast-wise, YouTube, all of that. I know I don't watch regular television anymore. You know, there's a couple shows that I kind of try to frequent, but, you know, I don't sit down and just watch network TV. I watch YouTubers, you know, the Cletus McFarlanes, the Tay Whitesides with Lift Art Studios, the Hunt the Front guys that race and stuff, or Zach Johnson with the farming side of it. I would rather see real people do real shit. And for the most part, I think that's what everybody wants to see. And I think we're real people. I don't know that we're doing real extravagant shit that everybody's going to be interested in, but
it's kind of cool to watch a laser run if you don't do that regularly. So we do definitely have a few unique opportunities to share that not everybody really gets to be a part of all the time. So I think we have a few things that you might be interested in.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll get into more, you know, like in-depth videos on the laser and all that stuff on an actual YouTube video, not a podcast, if you will.
That's true. Yeah.
But, you know, getting in here and talking about what we learned through the week and where we screwed up, and the trials and tribulations of being a 30-year-old business owner once, you know. That's my excuse for everything. I've only done it once, so I guess I continue to learn and just bring you guys along with us. But, well, Jebediah, what else? Oh yeah, and I guess we mentioned that in the first one. Did we mention that in the first one or this one?
Jebediah. Yeah, that was brought up the first one.
Okay, yeah. So
and now everybody's going to be even more confused.
Yeah, so this is Greg. If you didn't catch the intro to all the podcast stuff, he was a long-haired hippie boy a few years ago, and I thought he was going to transition over into Amish. So I had to give him an Amish name, so he didn't go into the Amish community with a worldly name. But
it's not quite how I remember that. I remember it was actually the illustrious President Joe Biden, and I just refused to get a haircut till we got a better president. And I feel like I was actually transitioning away from more Amish things than I was to it, but we're not getting to that. I'm not Amish.
We have nothing against Amish.
Yeah,
Amish are
I've
great
met some
people.
cool ones.
And I think they probably actually are the ones that's got it figured out the best.
I do agree with a lot of the things they do, but not necessarily all of them. But
I don't know if they have to pay taxes. I think there's certain laws there that they have to pay taxes, but they don't get caught up in all the worldly crap that the rest of us do. Anyway, that's for another topic. I don't know. One of the things that I kind of wanted to touch on, I guess, where we are currently in business, is again trying that restructuring right now, which has been really hard. We had a steel supplier that kind of, I'm not going to say wishful thinking, if you will, but they kind of gave us a lot of hope of a lot of work and gave us some numbers that were really promising. They were going to probably 2, almost 3x, what we were doing consistently. Just bringing the laser on board. So we have been trying to figure all that out. And then of course, as soon as we get the laser in, politicians do what politicians do and run their mouths, and everybody gets scared. And that's something you'll figure out on this podcast as well. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. I'm very, judgmental is not the word to use, but I'm very judgmental, I guess, of the current state of affairs. I voted one way, and I would imagine if you've been around for any time, you kind of know the way that I voted. And but I will be the first one to admit it is nothing like I planned right now. So it's we get a little bit of steam and a little bit of kick in the butt to move forward, and then they go run their mouths once again, and everybody gets scared and steps away. So anyway, we might have just a political side of this podcast as well to do the critiquing. There we go. I'm a good critiquer, not judgmental. I'm a good critiquer.
There we go.
That's what it sounds a little bit better. It rolls off the tongue a little bit better.
Makes it sound better than that Missouri education.
Yeah. I guess that's another thing too, where we're based out of Rogers, Arkansas. We're not like your common company that's in an industrial park or in the big middle of it all. We're out in the middle of nowhere, about 35-ish minutes from the heart of Rogers, and we're just literally in the middle of
dead end, surrounded by a lake.
Yeah, we're on a peninsula. We're in the middle of the forest out here, so we think we've got it pretty cool. Semi trucks bring in material to us, and hopefully as this transition changes and gets going, I should say, hopefully semi trucks will be bringing it in and taking it out, and we can just stay here and keep the laser running full song. But anyway, I know we've kind of been all over the place on this one, trying to get the jitters, I guess, worked out. But
this is going to be a work in progress.
Things
will improve. We actually have better mics. We have a better setup, but we're working with what we got as far as the environment right now. So things will improve. We'll get better as we go.
Yeah, we were going to try to kick this thing off a few months ago, and it bounced between being hot and cold and hot and cold, and the shop has been just a disaster. In fact, we stopped recording some of the expansion because we couldn't set a camera up in one place because there's just so much crap everywhere. You had to take a forklift through somewhere to get material or whatever, and you had to move 4 things just to get the material into the other side. And we're only working, I say only, we're very blessed and very fortunate, but we're working out of a 50 by 100 shop. And it's just, a 50 by 100 is a big shop, but
we're working on half of it. So
yeah, when you're working on half of it and trying to make a living out of the other half, that doesn't leave a lot of storage room.
Yeah.
But so now I guess actually we'll be working out of 7,000 square feet. So, which is going to be really nice. But anyhow, well, we'll end this one here. Thanks for tagging along, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. I hope to bring some good content. Hope to bring some good stories. Like I said, we'll probably cut up, tell jokes, tell some local hero stories, and get into current events and cuss and discuss on that. So
we're going to have a broad range of topics, but if there are things that you'd like to hear about, let us know so we can kind of see where that goes.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Try to have these things out every week or so. Adios.